Hi, welcome to What's Going On. I'm Matt Literal, and this is my co-host or guest this week, Michael Estes.
Oh, you trying to speak something into the future, huh? Co-host.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to
Hey.
have you on multiple episodes.
Right, understand.
Yeah.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
So today we're going to find out a little bit about you and your journey of creating your own podcast.
Okay,
And,
okay.
Your podcast is called The Seat at the Table.
Yes, it is.
And
yes, it is.
Tell us a little bit about how you came up with wanting to do your own podcast or video podcast and YouTube channel.
Well, it all started really years ago.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm an entrepreneur, been an entrepreneur for 23 years.
Yeah.
But I enjoy serving others.
Yeah.
So before it was even a podcast, I was a speaker, a motivational speaker, and I spoke on a national stage pretty much in front of crowds. And I actually created a business networking group of people.
Uh-huh.
And basically what I did is I would teach them principles on how to build a business with integrity that is authentic, you know, and as we know, from authenticity, you only do business with people that you know, like, and trust.
Right.
And that's very important. So for me, that's how I started.
Uh-huh.
And then how we have morphed into technology when it comes to media.
Yeah.
Podcast just was kind of natural. But then at the same time, bring in people into that podcast that were entrepreneurs like me, but didn't quite know how to build their own brand or even expand their business.
So brand building.
Yeah, brand building. So I wanted to give them a platform to where they could talk about their business and then at the same time edify them by lifting them up and putting them on a show that they can share with others that really talked about their heart for their business.
That's great. And in doing so, or I wanted to touch back on, you used to do like speaking,
right,
and travel and do like motivational speaks and stuff. How did you get into that? Like,
well,
did you just one day?
No, it didn't. It didn't
start out.
No,
did
it
someone
didn't.
Ask you to speak?
It didn't happen that way. Basically, what happened is right when, you know, social media really first started, you know, before that, I owned a media company.
Okay.
And, you know, I was blessed to have a media company that was very successful.
That's great.
I mean, very successful here in the Sacramento region.
Right.
And it was called Envision Design and Development Group.
Okay.
And basically, I had an office on 2nd Street in Old Sacramento.
Yeah.
Right. I had my own employees. I had 13 employees. And also I had programmers, graphic designers, and, you know, anything that had to do with having a company. Yeah. And I had a co-founder with me by the name of Clint Flores.
Okay.
And basically, we started out, he was a web designer, and I was pretty much the brains of, I wanted more than just web design. I wanted a media company.
Right. Like,
so, you know, expand pretty much, So I wanted a media company, and I've always enjoyed working with people. And I was blessed to meet a guy by the name of Andre Farr, who was actually out of L.A.
Okay.
And he had an organization. He was the founder and president of an organization called the Black Sports Agents Association.
Oh, okay.
So what we actually did with Envision Design and Development Company is we built websites for professional athletes.
Oh, that's
and by
a good idea.
building websites for professional athletes, what we were able to do is get clients that were actually professional athletes. So that kind of made our business explode. And back then, we were able to build websites for professional athletes, and
Right.
we were able to teach them how to, kind of like what we're doing right now with
building a brand.
right, building their own brand and
on a
but we're
website,
teaching exactly, and they were able to sell their products. We
That's
built
awesome.
a store and everything. This was like
Right.
in 2005.
Yeah, that's like at
We were
the
so
beginning.
far. Yeah,
That's before cell phones had. Like,
we were so
you could
far
buy
ahead of
everything on
them.
the cell
Right, we were
phone.
so far ahead of the market
Yeah.
that, as I look back on it, it's amazing because what
Yeah.
everybody's doing right now, right, with
Yeah.
name brand recognition,
Yeah.
right, basically even with the college athletes are doing right now. We
Yeah.
were teaching professional athletes how to do that.
Right.
So we had a portfolio of every professional sport, and we had clients,
Right.
and we would build their websites. And I'm
That's
talking websites. We were getting actually the revenue per website was like $60,000-$70,000 per website because we
Right.
built it from the ground up.
Right.
So that's how I got into the media. That's how I got into
Okay.
marketing and advertising.
Yeah.
But guess what? Gloom and doom came. And
Yeah.
what was gloom and doom?
Yeah.
If you remember,
Yeah,
2009,
2006.
2010,
Yep.
the market crashed.
Yeah.
And when the market crashed, guess what? So did my business,
Yeah.
right?
That happened to
and
one of my
that
businesses.
man, I'm telling you, Matt, it broke my heart because I had employees, right?
Yeah.
And for the first time, I had to lay off my employees,
Right.
right? And it broke my heart because I felt like a failure. I
Yeah.
really did. I felt like I failed in business, right?
Yeah.
But I always had the heart to help people. So, to make a long story short, I ended up marketing. I stayed in marketing and advertising, but that was the beginning of kind of like the beginning of social media
Right.
and Facebook at
Yeah.
that time, right?
Yeah.
I think Facebook kind of launched in 2009, something like that.
Yeah. Right around.
Right. So 2008, if you were early 2007, 8, and 9.
Yeah.
I found Facebook in 2009, and through Facebook, I started going to these networking groups,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because everybody had lost their job,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So people started becoming entrepreneurs.
Yeah. They started
and
trying everything.
trying anything and everything. You had the network marketing, you had all kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't
Meetup-
like that.
meetup.com.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't like the network marketing format, right? Because to me it just felt like a get rich quick scheme.
Yeah.
You
It's
know.
almost like a pyramid.
The pyramid and all
Yeah.
that stuff. I don't like to call it pyramid because network marketing to me,
It's not.
it's
pyramid,
but network marketing to me is what we're doing right now.
Right.
We're networking. We're
Yeah.
networking.
Exactly.
But it was so much going on when people met you. All they wanted to do is they wanted you to join their business,
Right.
no matter what.
Yeah, like a chamber of
yeah,
commerce,
it was all kind of
or-
stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
it just
they're like,
they just wanted you to
"Come-"
join their business,
And then they want you to go
Yeah.
meet other business owners.
exactly.
And then,
Then you pull them into the business and pull them into the business,
yeah,
right?
And then
I didn't like that.
Yeah, I'm not that.
Yeah, I
I'm
didn't
the
like
same.
that.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
I didn't like that. So there was this organization called Successful Thinkers.
okay.
And Successful Thinkers, it was full of network marketers, right?
Okay.
And I would go to these meetings, every week, and I would participate. But I went, I didn't even have a business at that time.
Okay.
I would go because I knew that I wanted to create a business.
Yeah.
But the business that I wanted to create was how to brand yourself as a business.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So basically, since Facebook was just getting started
Yeah.
and people didn't quite understand Facebook, I use Facebook for branding, right? So that way, if I built my Facebook account
Yeah.
off of me,
Right.
not my business. I don't know if you remember in the beginning, but Facebook had a personal page and a business
Yeah.
page, right?
Yep.
Remember
Yeah.
the
And you
business
had
page?
both.
Yeah. And it had, your business page was tied to your personal page, or you could just say,
Or business.
you just do a business page, and that was it, right? It was a fan page, if
Yeah.
you remember.
Yeah.
That was what it was
Yep.
called, a fan page.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, You don't need a fan page. You're your own business, right?
Yeah.
So going to these meetings, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was people that came to these meetings, and they were all seeking because of the market crashing, the
Right.
recession, and the market crashing, and everything else. So at the end of all of that, right, I would go to these meetings,
Yeah.
and I would see all these people, and I would like, something is not right because people are not really earning any revenue, but they're coming and they're trying to sell you. I mean, they try to sell you anything. Water,
Yeah.
join this business for water. Join this business for weight.
Yeah.
Join this business, all kind of stuff, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
why don't you just build relationships first, and whatever that person is, then you could sow into that person's business if needed. But your network, in other words, the people that you not know, like, and trust, if it fits their business, then you can introduce them to those people where they can build relationships that way and exponentially grow businesses that way.
Yeah.
Actually, that's how it started.
Okay.
But the greatest part of that, they had these different networking groups, under different umbrellas that were all over Northern California, especially the Sacramento region.
Yeah.
Right? So I was able to take the model of successful thinkers, change it a little bit because it belonged to some other person.
Right.
Right? Change it a little bit, and after I changed it to doing business with people that you know, like, and trust, and then sow into that person's business before you ask for anything from that business.
Right.
It just exploded.
That's great.
Because I created what was called a model, and our motto was, what can I do to help you take your business and move your business forward? And if I decided that I wanted to do business with Matt, then I had to sow into Matt's business first. So if I decided that I wanted to meet you and have an appointment with you, my goal was to say, okay, Matt, who are you? What do you do? And how can I help you? And then sit back and let you tell me what you need help for. And then from my resources, pour into you.
Right.
So I know that was long, but
no, that's
that's how that started. But the best part, in 6 months' time, right, I was in 17 different cities every week.
Oh, wow.
So I was grinding.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
but I was grinding. In 6 months' time, I was in 17 different cities.
Right.
And nobody really even knew what I did because I never talked about my business. I just talked about how I can help them move their business forward.
Right.
Right. And basically the way that I did it is I went all the way from Sacramento, right? I live in Elk Grove, but I went all the way from Sacramento down 80, Sacramento, to the Bay Area that way. And then I went from Elk Grove down I-5 all the way into San Jose.
Yeah.
Right? That way.
Yeah.
And each city along the way,
right,
I started a group. And in 6 months' time, I was in 17 different cities.
That's great.
Crazy, huh?
Yep. That's a lot.
Yeah, so that's how I got started.
Okay. So did you like doing the public speaking?
I enjoy public speaking. I really did, because I enjoy helping people.
Right.
Right. So public speaking was something that didn't even bother me at all.
Right.
Most
Just
people, they're like,
natural.
I'm afraid to speak public, right? And they're like, I don't know if you heard the saying, right? The first saying that the saying that people say about public speaking, most people rather not do public speaking,
right?
Because they have a fear of it, right? And they'd rather do something that there's a possibility for them to die than to stand in front of a crowd and speak, do public speaking.
That's true.
So,
That's
but
true.
it came natural for me because it was a way for me to have a platform to help others.
Right. Yeah. They say like the best way to do that is like do like 70% storytelling.
Right. Do what we're doing right now.
Yeah, like telling your story.
Tell your story. I remember
Sure.
in high school, right? I wanted to be a journalist and a writer.
Oh, really?
Right?
Okay.
And I remember taking my writing course in high school, and I'll never forget the teacher would say, tell your story, tell them, and then tell your story. That was
Right.
the key to writing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you just transfer that into speaking
Yeah.
in your story because you're learning how to write a story,
Yeah.
right? Well, now you have to learn how to tell a story,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So that kind of helped me there.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be an actor
Yeah.
and a writer.
Then
So-
what held you back?
Well, my family had businesses. We had restaurants
Right, right.
growing up. So I kind of like got sucked into the family business because all my friends worked for us, and then my uncles, my cousins, and so it was like there was almost a comfort there.
Right.
'cause
No, I get it.
up-
It was
I
you
grew up
knew
in
that.
it.
You
I
knew that.
it, like,
Yeah,
I didn't have to think
right,
about
right,
it.
right.
And I worked a lot. And then the thought of like leaving that and like moving to LA or something and starting from scratch was like, So, and then I got married really young and stayed in town, and then got divorced and thought about doing it again.
Right.
And then by then I was like 27, and then I started a few other businesses on the side,
Right,
and they
right.
started taking off. So then I had the businesses holding me here, you know.
Right.
And then 2008 came, and one of my businesses took off because I bought and resold furniture, and
So you was flipping furniture.
yeah, I was flipping furniture.
Wow.
And it took off even more when
Right.
when 2008 came, because everybody needed like furniture.
People
and
were
stuff.
moving.
and they didn't. They were broke too.
People
Yeah,
were losing
like,
their houses and
Yeah.
everything else. So they ended up moving,
Yeah.
and because they were moving, they needed furniture.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was booming.
So for like I did that for almost 12 years,
wow.
and still helped out at the
Restaurant.
restaurants. But I was like every day from like 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and then just going everywhere. I had like 4 storage units full of dressers and
Goodness
washers,
gracious.
dryers,
Yeah.
fridges,
Right,
TVs.
right.
So it was like a used appliance.
No, I get
furniture.
it. I get it.
We offered delivery, and then I had a detailing business and a cell phone business. Also, at
So
the
you
same
was
time.
ahead of
I was
time, huh?
hustling. I was like,
Yeah.
just like
you was grinding.
grinding, and so it kept me busy. But it was a lot of fun.
Wow.
It was a lot of fun.
Wow.
And then I slowed down, and then got into real estate, doing real estate stuff, and then that led me to. Well, I always took like photography and video classes at school, and then one day I was just like, with one of my friends that also does video and production stuff, let's make a movie. And now we
wow.
got our first movie on Prime.
It's on Prime?
Yeah.
Congratulations,
So-
man.
thanks.
Shoot. Dang, that's
So
cool.
as a month ago.
Wow.
So now we're trying to get our second movie. We have 4 movies, or 3 movies that are finished, and then we're working on our 4th. But now we're trying to get our second and third on the Prime. So,
Wow. That's
So
good.
now I'm an actor.
Oh,
Self-made actor,
yeah,
though.
look
But
at
it worked
that.
out.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
you know,
so-
speaking of that, even for me, going back to me working in the media, my media
Yeah.
company, right?
Yeah.
You know, we had an arm that actually did movies,
Okay.
right? And I don't know if you remember. This reality show, right?
Mm-hmm.
We shot a reality show for. At that time, it was BET, and it was owned by. It wasn't owned by Viacom. Viacom bought them out. It was owned by Bob Johnson.
Okay.
You know, at that time,
Yeah.
right? And the show that we actually, the reality show was Baldwin Hills. I don't know if you remember that show, but
I think it
anyway,
sounds familiar.
it was a show about African American youth, teens.
Okay.
But they're Baldwin Hills. I don't know if you're familiar with Baldwin Hills. In the LA area, Baldwin Hills is like the Black Beverly Hills,
Okay.
right? And we created a. It was really good. It was. I mean, but it was a reality show
Yeah.
that came on every week, and
That's cool.
definitely it was all positive though. It wasn't like a crazy reality show.
Right, like
it just was life. Life among this
Housewives
neighborhood,
or,
a community that was like the Black Beverly Hills. We did that.
That's great.
Right, and we shot that, and that was one of the beginning. That's how I got into the movie industry.
Oh, okay.
Right, so I understand that. I get that.
That's cool. That's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun industry.
Yeah, it is.
I like meeting all the
but they ended up.
everything.
The show only lasted for, I think, 3 years, two or 3 years, because when MTV and Viacom bought out BET, for whatever reason, they canceled the show.
So that happens a lot.
Yeah, so that kind of ended. That kind of ended it. But then I ended up shooting another movie, and it was an Indian movie. It was like an indie movie, but Indian,
Okay.
right? So we ended up shooting another movie, and we built a website for this movie, and it was called The Perfect Marriage, right?
Okay.
And it was pretty good too.
That's cool.
No, excuse me. It was called The Perfect Woman.
Oh, Perfect Woman.
Yeah, The Perfect Woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And it was about an Indian woman, and man, they were gonna get married. And I don't know if most Indian
They're
marriages are
arranged.
prearranged, right?
They're prearranged.
But as they were getting ready to get married, right, the woman, right,
Yeah.
gets attacked and raped,
Oh no.
right?
Oh.
And so
He didn't want to marry her.
no, it wasn't that. She was afraid to tell that because she knew that it would end that prearranged marriage.
Right.
So it started right there, and the rest. It was pretty good. It was
like a good
It was
twist.
really, really good. It was a good twist, right?
Yeah. That's fun.
Yeah. So been there.
Yeah.
Been
It's
there.
fun. It's
It is
different.
fun. It is fun.
Yeah.
It is fun.
And stressful. It's
Yeah, definitely.
waiting
But
for
that's
people to
life,
show
right?
up on time.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
lighting, the weather,
Yeah.
making sure all the equipment works.
Yeah.
And then having to schedule
But I
reshoots.
mean, that's a great accomplishment to get on Prime.
Yeah.
Wow.
It took 3 years
That's cool.
from our first,
That's
when
cool.
we finished our first movie.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep going and see
Yeah.
where it goes.
Okay,
So
cool.
you never know.
Cool.
And then, so now that you have your podcast, do you see, are going to keep going? for a while?
Yes. You know what? For me, one of the things when I started A Seat at the Table podcast, if you remember how you and I met, that's how you and I met.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
You actually are the person that shot the first episode of A Seat at the Table podcast.
Yeah.
So you're the one that took it from idea to concept to reality.
Yeah.
It was manifested right here.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to create a podcast, right? But I didn't know how.
Right.
I've always created companies.
Right.
And, I don't have a media background when it comes to behind the camera,
Right.
but I know how to build businesses.
Right.
So, even the podcast, the podcast was important to me because I wanted to help business owners.
Right.
So that's where, A Seat at the Table podcast comes from, because I wanted people to have an opportunity to sit at the table, right, and tell their story, just like I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Here you are, you're the host, right?
Yeah.
And here I am, the guest, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sitting at your table right now.
Yeah.
So that's basically
Sitting
the
in the
concept.
studio.
Exactly, sitting in the studio.
Yeah. So, I just wanted to have you on ever since we met. And
Right.
get more of your story out there for people.
Yeah, and
because-
I really appreciate that. I was like honored, seriously,
Yeah.
and I mean that when I say that. For you to even ask me to come onto your show, of course I would come onto your show.
I thank you very much.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure our listeners thank you. And
All right.
we'll have you on again, and we'll talk more about maybe
Yeah.
some movies coming up this year or something.
Cool.
And
Cool.
go over some more business ideas and plans for
Yeah,
people
and
to
you know
follow.
what? One of the things that I think I've been thinking about this, a lot is, getting back into the media. I have a lot of media skills, and I know how to build media companies, and I know that there's a lot of people in media, right?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people in media, but also know that there's a lot of business owners, even still today,
Yeah.
that don't know media
Right.
enough to benefit their business and exponentially grow it through
Right.
media, especially social media. We have the different platforms in social media: Facebook, Twitter, or X, which is X. Then we have Instagram. Then we have podcasts. We
Right.
also have just TikTok. All the different platforms, right?
There's
That you can actually
grow
explode
on.
your business.
Yeah.
But people don't know how to do that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I know what it takes to do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, my thing is, if you're going to be a copycat in anything, my saying is make sure you copy the right cat.
Yeah.
That's my saying.
Mine's copy the best, or the one that best fits you.
Copy the right cat.
Yeah, exactly. Because sure, everyone could say follow Warren Buffett for trading, or follow Tony Robbins for positive mindset, and speaking and growing your brand. Or there's also Mindful Valley.
Right.
That guy that owns that company just brings in other people that know different ways to help people get out of their mind and grow.
Right. It's a transformational type of business. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So he just brings people on that help him grow. And so that's kind of like, well, I'm kind of following like that. Like, I don't have to do everything. I just have to know the right people.
There you go.
That can reach another person.
And that's the recipe.
Right? Yeah.
That's the recipe right there,
Yeah.
You got people that are great marketers.
Yeah.
Like I said, I understand media marketing, advertising, and branding. Those are my skills.
Right.
Right. So that's why I chose you, because, I wanted to create a podcast, but I didn't want just anyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even when we first sat down and talked, right?
Yeah.
My thing was, it's got to look professional.
Yeah.
It can't be cheesy, right?
Right.
It's got to look like we know what we're doing, because it's important to every guest that I bring on is to take them to the next level.
Right.
That's important to me,
Yeah.
right? So when I came up with the concept of a Seat at the Table podcast, the things that I asked you were, okay, I need some reels.
Yeah.
Right. I knew what I needed. I just don't know how to do it.
Right.
Right. I need.
And you didn't want to have to go through the process of learning.
I'm not even. I don't have the time.
Yeah.
I don't have the time.
Exactly.
I don't want to be behind the camera.
Yeah. You
right?
want to travel.
I want to be in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Right. And then as I'm
meet the people.
Exactly. As I'm hosting this podcast, I'm hosting it for other people.
Right.
Right. And because I'm hosting it for other people, I just want people to be able to exponentially grow their brand.
Right.
And I want to participate in edifying them.
Right.
That's the key.
That is the key.
Yeah. That's the
why
key.
I really like your energy and your way of looking at life and business and growing yourself.
Hey, thank you.
Most people would just not want to travel, or just like be on a fixed income, and they want to just do their thing.
Right.
They might like supplement by doing an Uber from like 10 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon every day.
Right.
Just to have extra spending money, and then that's it. But you're like, I could do whatever I want now, and you wanted to start a podcast.
Right.
And, and grow that from the ground up and help people still.
So I know, and I know that with you behind the camera for a Seat at the Table podcast, you've had an opportunity to see the people that
you're
come on
bringing in.
that come onto my man. I'm telling you right now, I know thousands of people in that category, right?
Right.
You know, that type of quality and everything else. So,
Yeah.
you know, as time goes on, right?
Yeah.
I really believe with all my heart that A Seat at the Table podcast is going to be a rich staple in entrepreneurship that will help that will help others become, you know, successful even through their failures, because we all know that in order to find success, you have to fail.
Yeah, I've failed like multiple times, but it's not a failure.
It's not.
It's just a step to success.
Yeah, you know, at the same time, because I'm also a functional life coach.
Yeah.
Right. And being that I'm a functional life coach, a lot of those people that have come onto my business, you know, my podcast, are business owners themselves.
Right.
And because they're business owners themselves, they're business owners that I've coached.
Right.
Right. Because I've been coaching since 2009.
Right.
But I only do one-on-one coaching. I'm not that coach that wants to get out there and
have 30 people in a room.
All I want is 5 people at a time that I can dedicate my time to.
Right.
Right. And give them the best of me as a coach. Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can truly say this, you know, that every person that I have coached today, every one, because of the formula that I use, whatever it is that they wanted to be, know, or do, they're successful at it today.
That's great.
And that's why they have no problem coming onto the show.
And I think that's why your show is going to be, and will be around for a long time, is because anyone could go look at these different episodes, and it's a coffee shop owner, it's a winemaker, it's a variety of just different, like
a police officer.
Yeah, you have a police officer, you have a public influencer.
Right.
Like, you know, and it's just, it's not the same. You don't have like 10 police on there, and you don't have 20 winemakers. It's like, if someone wanted to be something, they could go to a Seat at the Podcast
Seat at the Table
podcast, and they could look up like a certain profession and listen to someone's story of how they got started.
And that was the whole purpose of it.
Started a coffee shop.
Right.
How did, you know? So, and it's just gonna keep growing, and I think it's a great show and a great podcast.
and even from that, like I was telling you before about, you know, the different 17 cities that I was speaking, you know, because a lot of times, you know, as a public speaker, and standing in front of a crowd, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about a crowd that's in a room of all business owners or aspiring to become a business owner, and the how-tos, right?
The how-tos are...
The whole point is, you know, not a get-rich-quick, sell-you thing. It's authentic, you know, authentic. This is how you do it. But before you do it, make sure you know, like, and trust the person that you want to do it with. Right.
Yeah.
You know.
And try to understand the way, how you're going to get there.
Right.
Because if you don't understand what's in the middle, everyone is going to make a mistake. And that's how you learn.
Yeah. And understanding that failure and failing is not the same.
No. It's learning.
Like I said, you know.
Yeah.
You see, and most people don't pursue their dreams.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid to fail.
Right. They are.
Right? But they don't understand that in order to find success, you have to fail.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, that wasn't right. That didn't work.
It's like trying to do swimming or doing a somersault in the pool.
Exactly.
And you get water up your nose and you're like sneezing.
Just start coughing.
And you're coughing. Yeah, and you feel like you're almost going to like die. Yeah. You're like, I'm going to die. Or you swim or you run hard. Yeah. And you're just out of breath. Right. And you feel like crap. Or, you know, or riding a bike up a hill and you're like, what was I thinking?
Yeah. You know, Matt. But one of the things that
you have
I
to put
learned,
the first foot.
I learned is that, like I said, when my media company failed, right?
Yeah.
That was the first time that I had done anything and failed. But it affected so many people.
Right.
You know, we're talking families. Man, we
Yeah.
had a baseball team,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
You know, so we all, you know, 13.
Yeah, it's like a community.
We were a community. We
Little
were a family.
Right.
Right? And you know, we had you know, so they had family. We had families.
Yeah.
They had kids. You know,
Yeah.
we had a softball team. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So when we failed, the hardest thing was, you know, I lost sleep because I would lay up at night knowing that, you know what, a day is gonna come when I'm not gonna be able to make payroll.
Right.
Right? And how am I going to explain this to these families? Right?
Yeah.
It was heartbreaking, man. And for me, I was like, wow, I failed. I failed. But then I realized, right? And it took me some time because I almost went into a form of depression. So it took me some time to realize that, you know what?
It's part of life.
It's a part of business. It's a part of life. And
especially
I didn't
if you're the
fail.
owner.
Right. I didn't fail.
You don't have control over what people spend their money on.
Not only that, I didn't
economy.
have. The economy is what got me.
Yeah.
You know, the economy. I mean, it's kind of like right now. Most people are talking about the economy, right?
Yeah, how it's so expensive.
Yeah, how everything is so expensive, right? And they want to say that the economy is broken, or the economy is tough, or the economy is not good. Right. Actually, the economy is great.
Yeah.
It's what you're doing in the economy that's broken.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not great. Because when I look at what's going on in the economies, and I'm talking about from a business standpoint.
Right.
Businesses are not doing bad. Businesses are doing good. You know, the stock market itself
right now.
is at 42, the highest. It's breaking records.
I know.
So if you're investing in,
you're doing good right now.
Man, I'm making. You know, my investments are great. So I'm saying, you know, when people are complaining about the economy, I look at the stock market, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and I look at the NASDAQ, I look at all those things where I have my investments at. Yeah. And I'm like, no, it ain't.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. No, yes, everything is costing more, but look, I'm gaining way more than what things cost. And I'm not saying that, you know, to accept what things are costing, because there's definitely price gouging and everything else. Right. The thing that I'm saying is put yourself in a position to where even though the economy is you know, the prices and things are costing more, but if you're investing into the economy, right, in business or whatever it is, you know, whether it's money, business, you know, retirement or whatever, if you're invested into the economy, making a movie just like you're talking about, right, you know, guess what? You're gonna earn more money.
Yeah. It's an asset now.
Exactly.
And so
not a liability.
And then once we got it on the Prime, now we're in partners with Prime. But it's another form of money, a money stream that could be 24 hours a day.
There you go. While you sleep, right?
Yeah.
Well, every time they show.
Yeah, every time they rent it or buy it, you know, it's just.
And isn't that what we search for in life? You know, that passive income stream. Yeah, that's why we get into business. Yeah, you know. Yeah,
that's what people were like. Why are you making a movie? Like, how are you making money?
But they don't understand. They don't
understand that. Yeah, I'm investing my time now, but if it does hit, if you have to keep trying, right? Right. So if it hits, it could make $1 million in 2 weeks.
Right. Right.
Like.
It's kind of like Steve Jobs, right? Yeah. When he created the iPod. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Why did he create that? You know, if you know the story, right? Yeah. It's because his daughter walked around all day long
with the bag of tapes.
With a bag of tapes, listening to music and listen to music, right? Yeah. You know, so
I had a 200 CD
Right.
thing. That was
I still got.
big.
I mean,
And you flip it open.
Right.
And you'd be driving.
yeah, yeah.
One song, pull it out.
Right. Or
you had the
even,
50.
Who remembers, I can't even think of the name of it, but, it was, you can buy all these CDs for a penny. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep.
I forgot what it's called.
I forgot the name of that company. If I remember that. I bought some on there.
I did, but how many people to this day owe them people money? Because I know I did, because they kept sending them every month, right? They kept sending it every month, right?
And then
you couldn't even cancel it. It's like they still sent them to you, right? And that's how I used to get my cassettes.
Right.
I can't remember what it was called.
I forgot the name. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. And it used to take like a day and a half on Napster to download one song. That was like 3 megabytes.
Right. One song, but then think about
it. That's when iPad came out.
That's when
iPods,
right?
Yeah.
But then from there, now we have the iPhone.
Right.
From his daughter wanting to listen to music.
Yep.
That was Apple was already a company, but it wasn't like it is now.
Right. No, they were almost bankrupt twice before that.
It wasn't, and he was going through some things with his family.
Yeah.
Right. And every time that he spent time with his daughter, right, she had all these cassettes, right, and she was always listening to this music, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, why are you bringing all that? But then he solved it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what started. And that's an amazing story when you think about it.
No, it is.
When you think about
it.
Saying, and that's how we morph.
This is the future.
That's how we morph. I mean, even with your business, right? As far as the movies, like I said, I've been there. I've been there. I know what it does.
Yeah. You just start, and then all of a sudden, I was making videos, or I didn't want to I trained myself more on photography and video, and then I kept rolling, and I expanded it from. I didn't want to pay photographers to take pictures of my daughter. Right. So I'd rather invest that money in the equipment.
Exactly.
And
learn how to do it yourself.
Yeah. So, because I had the entrepreneurial mindset.
Right.
Right. And then that's when a few years later was COVID.
Right.
And everything shut down. And then our business, my family's restaurants were going to be closed, and then I started making videos of the pizzas and food coming out of the oven and posting on social media all the time.
Saved them, huh?
Yeah, and up to one their businesses, and we had way more to goes. Our revenue went up at our pizzeria, my family's pizzeria, and then like 25% higher than normal. For a normal
because
year,
people couldn't go sit down, but they still wanted the pizza.
Yeah,
and because you were marketing, the pizzas, they were like, you know what? I mean, it's kind of like the way businesses is right now, right? Yeah. Even with Uber Eats and the rest of that, right? That all morphed from the pandemic.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And, people needed stuff, but they couldn't go.
I mean, so you even have the Walmarts, Target, and stuff like that, right? Yeah.
Instacart.
With, all this stuff, right? Where Targets was like, why use Uber Eats or why use Instacart? Why use all these? We can create our own, right?
Yeah.
And have people that don't want to shop, with us. Or wear a mask and shop or whatever it took, right? Yeah. They could or just
curbside pickup.
Yeah, or just
curbside pickup.
Now it's a whole nother division in the stores, right?
Yeah, it's a whole nother.
People never go to the store. You don't even have to leave your house.
You don't have. You don't anymore.
You don't have to leave your house, and you can have anything and everything you want.
Yeah. One time I came home and there was a delivery from Safeway. Mm-hmm. It was like $200 in food when we were on a vacation. Mm-hmm. I guess the neighbor had it got dropped off at the wrong house.
Wow.
But it was like $200 in food and like $100 in meat. And I had to throw it away because I don't know how many days it was. Right. But I mean, I didn't know what to do with the rest. So I gave it to some people and then kept a few things.
Whatever, right?
Yeah.
Whatever works.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
well, that's crazy, huh?
yeah. And then once I started doing that, then I was like, I met a guy that did like radio, and he had talk shows in Sacramento and a few other states. And then he quit radio because radio started dying, just like
Right. I had a radio show.
Yeah. Books started dying, you know. And
right.
then podcasts started becoming more popular a few years ago. So I literally had a setup in a storage unit, and I brought battery packs that I charged up to turn on the lights, and then like wireless microphones, you know. And I just started having people, because because of COVID, I didn't want people to come to the house.
Got you.
So
got you.
Then I just started having my friends over, and we'd do like a podcast. And then I did one with one of my other friends, and it just hit overnight. It took off. Wow. And then I got addicted. So then I was like, I started buying all this equipment and everything. I'm like, well, now I have a media company. So,
no, I get it. You know, I get it.
Because I was doing social media for my family's business and stuff like that for myself, and started doing a YouTube channel. And then I just learned all these things like for like years.
Well, you know what? Even
every part of my life has that in it.
Even for me, how I chose to do business with you is, you know, and I've shared the story, but I've never shared it, you know, behind the camera. Right. Or in front of the camera, I should say. But, you know, I messaged you on a Sunday, right? You know, because I prayed about it, right? Yeah. You know, actually, I'm a believer, you know, just, you know, and I prayed about it, right? Two things that made me choose you. One is God put it in my heart to reach out to you on a Sunday, right? Yeah. And you responded to me, right? Yeah. And
almost
the company that I reached out to was Sacramento Podcast.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then when I came to meet you, right? When I came to meet you, and you don't even know this is the first time I'm telling you this, right? And I walked in, right? Yeah. The name of your company is called Gemini Media.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm a Gemini.
Right.
Right?
And I'm a Gemini.
And because I'm a Gemini, I was like, okay, God.
This is a sign.
You know, this is, you know, everything is in alignment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everything lines up.
Right.
And if you take one path, it'll reline up.
It'll always line up as long as you stay focused on what it is that, you know, even when you fail, right? Yeah. You know, it's kind of like GPS.
Yeah.
Right?
It'll reroute you.
It's going to reroute you to get to where you're supposed to go.
Yeah.
Right? And I know that because I've lived my whole life like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Same here.
You know, and when I came to, you know, talk to you, I had already made up my mind based on the things that I saw.
Right.
Right. When I came to your business, you know, and the first time that I met you and I saw Gemini Media, you know, I'm like, okay, you know, this is not even Sacramento Podcast. It's Gemini Media Company. Right. Yeah. So, and all that lined up, and I'm like, okay, God, I get it.
Yeah.
You know, I feel it. I understand. Yeah. I see it.
Yeah.
So regardless of what we talk about, you know, as far as this, the me telling you what I wanted. Yeah. Right. I'm going to move forward because I've never done a podcast. You know, I've always been behind, you know,
You're behind the scenes for other
people. And it's never been
their business.
and things like that. But I've never been in front of the camera, creating something for myself. Right. I've been in front of the camera many times, speaking to people, motivating people, and doing all this other stuff. But I've never been in front of the camera, right? Right. With something that actually was something that came from a concept that came through me. Right. You know, that's the key.
Yeah. How do you feel about your show now?
I love it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a really good show. I love it because, like I say, it's a tool for others that when they see it, you know, it's something that they can relate to. You'd be surprised of the many times that people reach out to me just based off, hey, I just saw your show. It was amazing. Things like that, right? Yeah. You know, and that's why even the entire show, you know, people watch the entire show, but the reels
Yeah,
the
those
reels.
hit
I mean, those
a lot of
hit.
views.
Yeah, those and they get. And I
that-
don't even really
that-
care
just
about
that
the views.
takeaway.
I just want to have something,
Help someone.
a nugget.
Yeah.
That a person can take just based off of what's been said, and take it to the next level in their life.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's amazing.
that's awesome. I'm glad
And
you-
I thank you. I mean,
welcome.
seriously, I thank you for the professionalism that you've always brought to the show.
welcome.
And also, how it has blessed me to be able to do what I know God has imparted in me. It
Yeah.
brings the things that I was already doing alive.
Yeah, glad to hear that.
Yeah.
That's awesome, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Yeah,
I
there's
love
more. Look,
yeah.
I have some ideas that I haven't even talked to you about.
Yeah,
Right?
and that's the fun part.
Yeah.
The unfolding of it.
Right.
It's like if you could have everything you want right away,
Right.
that would suck.
It would suck.
Because it wouldn't suck, but you wouldn't enjoy it.
Right.
Because then you'd be like, now what? Right?
Well,
Yeah, so-
and like I was telling you even before we started, the recording,
Yeah.
I'm at a place of now what? I'm at a
Right.
place called there.
Right.
I've been accomplished enough
Yeah,
to where today in my life, I get an opportunity to serve others.
you're right.
That's what's important to me.
Yeah,
To live your life, to as an entrepreneur,
yes,
right? To be able to go to a place that you have strived for to do, to
Yeah.
have enough in your past, in your repertoire of business to be able to do anything that you choose to do.
yeah,
And the old saying is, if money wasn't an
object.
issue
Yeah,
or
what
an
would you-
obstacle, what would you do? Well, for me in life right now today, money is not an issue or obstacle. And I get an opportunity to do what I choose to do. And what I choose to do
That's
is
great.
pour into others.
That's a great way
that's
to
the
live.
key.
Yeah, and by doing so, you just fulfills your happiness.
Oh my God,
And
man.
people are
and-
like, "How are you always so happy?"
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I never
and-
see this guy mad. Everyone says that, and I'm like,
pretty much.
I don't know, and
You know,
it just helped. And
people have asked me that. They're like, "You're so positive,
Yeah.
right?" I'm like, "If you knew the life that I lived, you'd be positive too,
yeah,
right?" And there's no secret to it.
no,
The only secret is you reap what you sow,
yeah, it's in the Bible.
and I only sow positive things,
yeah,
right?
Yep.
It's really that simple.
and if you ask, it is given.
There you go.
Yep.
Right.
So
Yep.
I totally agree with that.
Ask, seek, and knock.
Yep.
There
And
it
then
is.
just the last question of
Okay.
So now that you're on, what's going on next for you the rest of the year?
Well, like I was saying before, expanding a seat at the table podcast.
Yeah.
Right. That's important to me. I feel like I want to start back and create another media company.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I've had one sitting on the shelf for a long time. Right. I already have the LLC and everything else. It's called Step One Media.
Oh, nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Because everyone needs to know the first step in
Right.
business, and the first step is media.
Right.
Media, marketing, advertising, and branding.
Yeah.
Right. Well, for me, I have experience in all of those.
Right.
I know how to build a media company. That's like I said, if you're going to be a copycat, copy the right cat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know how to build a media company because I've built many.
Yeah.
And because I've built many media companies, I can build a media company and expand it, or take a media company, and because I have a following,
Yeah.
right, of people that I know. I'm talking thousands of people in Northern California that I've sat down and had a one-on-one conversation with about
Right.
their business,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to know their business, understand them, and help them. Well, for me right now, I am at a place right now where I want to build a media company that does all the things that you do
Uh-huh.
right now.
Yeah.
That you do right now. I don't want to have a studio. I want to use a studio,
Right. Right.
You know, and use that studio to edify others.
Right.
I don't want to become the graphic designer and build a brand for someone, which I know how to do, and I am a graphic designer.
Right.
So I all of that.
I've seen your work.
Yeah. All of that. Right.
It's real good.
I know how to do that, but I don't want to do that anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
It's like,
what I want to do is
do that.
create a platform, right?
Right.
And create a company, right, that helps others to create their company. And that's what Step One Media is really a part of. Okay. So I'm gonna be tapping into you.
All right.
I'm telling you this now. So get ready.
Yeah, I'm
Probably
ready.
in 2025, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be tapping into you to, assist me with the tools.
Okay.
In order to launch Step One Media in 2025.
Sounds good.
Wow, that's it.
Yeah.
And I just told the whole world that, right?
You heard it here first.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if it comes in 2026, it's the one's first step.
Well, I'm that guy though, Matt.
Yeah.
I am that guy that if I say that I'm going to do something, like I said, what's stopping me? Nothing.
Yeah.
See,
that's what I mean.
The thing about it is
enjoy, go travel for a while,
right? And I could travel
refreshed.
and still do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's it right there.
I mean, you could video conference from anywhere in the world.
Right there, you go.
So,
but see, I like the one-on-one. I like the live.
Yeah,
and that's what's important to me. Even to a point where, as a Seat at the Table podcast grows.
Yeah.
Even to the point where, I can have someone come on the show.
Yeah.
Right, and I see myself flying them in.
Yeah.
Wherever they are.
Yeah.
Flying them in to sit down and do a show.
Yeah.
That's the future that I see.
That's a good way to do it.
Right.
Because go off the energy.
There you go.
The energy makes a show better,
yep.
I think.
What we always say, passion, purpose, and promise, right?
Yeah.
And for me, that's always helped me.
That's a good motto to live by, for sure. And I want to thank you for coming on today.
Yeah, man.
Thanks a lot, my friend.
Yes, definitely.
And we'll have you back on the show very soon.
Okay. I would be honored to come on your show, Matt.
All right. Great. I'm Matt Literal, and this is What's Going On.
And I'm Michael Estes.
Have a great day.
All right.
And God bless.
God bless.